Hello everyone and welcome back to the CO2 Rundown. I'm Chad Owens and that's right, it's Mamba Monday. The king has been crowned and the Los Angeles Lakers are your 2020 NBA champions. We'll talk more about that in the second quarter. But before we get started, I just want to give a shout out to our sponsors, Mercedes-Benz of Honolulu, Hawaiian Telecom, Windows Hawaii, and Long's Drugs for being part of the show. And I'd like to thank you, the fans, for tuning in. Guys, let's jump on in to the first quarter. All right, remaining on topic here, being crowned king, last week's football fever king and winner, Ernie Bissell of Kapolei, just got $500 richer. Congratulations, Ernie. If you guys want to be part of Football Fever and give yourself a chance to win $500 cash weekly, you got to pick up yourself a Honolulu Star-Advertiser newspaper, right? Every Monday to Wednesday, you can get your official Football Fever ballot and compete with myself and the rest of the panel. And again, a huge thank you to our sponsors for making Football Fever possible. Mercedes-Benz of Honolulu, Hawaiian Telecom, Windows Hawaii, and Long's Drugs. And with that, guys, let's talk about NFL Sunday. There was a lot of exciting games, but there was some unfortunate events that happened. Let's start out with this. The Las Vegas Raiders beat the defending Super Bowl champs Kansas City Chiefs 40-32 at Arrowhead. This is a game where the Raiders defense showed up. They were causing some problems for Patrick Mahomes. And for the Raiders, QB Derek Carr balled out. He completed 22 of 31 for 347 yards. He had a touchdown. The Raiders, they're looking pretty good. That's because they got a very, very knowledgeable and intense coach in John Gruden, in whom I played for in Tampa back in 2007. That was an amazing time. Chucky, I miss you. Anyway, moving down the list here, some of the biggest unfortunate news was Dallas Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott, who broke his ankle, and he's out for the season. It was a compound fracture and dislocation. That's definitely going to need some surgery and some serious rehab. Praying for you, brother, praying for a speedy recovery and that you come back stronger and better than before. Cowboys have been struggling this year, and this was a blow that they definitely did not need. I know Jerry Jones is up there losing his mind, but hey, they're going to bounce back. Every good quarterback does. And I know there's a lot of talk sometimes of mobile quarterbacks running around, higher chance of getting injured. But at the end of the day, man, that's what got him to the league, right? You made it this far being mobile, being a dual threat. So I don't think mobile quarterbacks should see an injury and stop playing the way that you've been playing your entire life. Lamar Jackson, even Russell Wilson used his legs today a bit to do some things. And they're not going to change. That's their gift. And so speaking of Russell Wilson, the Seattle Seahawks and the Minnesota Vikings had an incredible game. Playoff type atmosphere, back and forth. And Russell Wilson this season has been on fire, right? Didn't have his best game statistically compared to what he's been doing, but he still ended up with 200 plus yards passing, 3 touchdowns. He had over 50 yards rushing. But the thing that separates Russell Wilson and is the reason why I consider him this year's MVP is his ability to finish that game. The poise, a minute left or so on the clock, in the game, 1 timeout, and he put all of his trust in second-year receiver DK Metcalf, who he claims is going to be an all-pro, one of the greatest receivers of all time. And he talked about DK Metcalf being the Jerry Rice to Joe Montana. That's the kind of relationship that they're building, and you can see that they're in sync. They've been balling together as of late. Amazing finish. And like I said, Russell Wilson is the MVP right now. Falcons head coach Dan Quinn gets fired. They're 0-5. I talked about it last week. It's unfortunate, but someone's got to take the fall, and a lot of times it's the head coach. And the Falcons, they got to turn it around. They don't have a much different team that they've had in years past. I think they're pretty much the same team that they've been, but sometimes you got to make changes, and unfortunately, Coach Dan Quinn was that change. That wraps it for the first, guys. Let's jump on in to the second quarter. Yep, that's right. King me. That's what LeBron James is saying. King me. I got another one. LeBron James and the Los Angeles Lakers captured their 17th NBA title in franchise history, tying the Boston Celtics for 17th all-time championships. So they're tied. So it's gonna be. I'm looking forward to 2021, and I got a good feeling that the Lakers are gonna get 18. But anyway, LeBron James, do you consider him the GOAT now for what he's been able to accomplish? And to talk more about that, I brought in a very special guest to help me close out the second quarter. And this is going to roll right into the halftime show, where I'm going to interview former Collar Mustang and UH men's basketball player Julian Sensley, who also played overseas for a number of years, and he was part of the Olympic team with Dirk Nowitzki in Germany. So let's check it out. Julian Sensley, man, appreciate you coming on to the CO2 Rundown, man, and being part of the NBA Finals recap. And as we're going to get into an interview with you shortly after that. But man, appreciate you coming on.
Happy to be here, brother. Happy to see the Lakers get one.
Yeah, man, I'm me too. I think this year, with the tragic passing of Kobe Bryant and Gianna, that hit home for a lot of people. You being a basketball guy, right? Like, I'm pretty sure you looked up to Kobe growing up and did some things like that, and really, I felt like it was destined for the Lakers to win this year. And with that, bro, like, what's your thoughts? I mean, the Lakers 2020 bubble NBA champs.
I mean, a championship's a championship, right? I know a lot of people are going to try and discredit, it was kind of a funky season with the COVID-19 and all that, but a ring is a ring. And I think, I really wanted to see the Lakers win, not just for their organization, obviously, and being like a Lakers fan and whatnot, but honestly, like you touched on Kobe Bryant and Gianna and of course the rest of the families of the Los Angeles area that were affected by that. Being a former athlete like you or I, we always try to find those little motivational edges, I think, to help us to get us to where we want to be, to that mountaintop, so to speak. And I think, with Kobe's death and COVID and everything that's been kind of happening with 2020, I think that played a huge part with the Lakers, winning a championship.
Yeah, I mean, LeBron James wins his fourth Finals MVP, becomes the first player to win. I'm sorry, the fourth player to win 4 MVPs and 4 titles. What's your thoughts, man, on LeBron James?
It's the GOAT talk, man. You can't help it. I heard Jalen Rose talk about it. I think for the younger guys who, we've been fortunate enough to see Michael play. We've been fortunate enough to see MJ play and LeBron. So, but for the younger generation that has never really saw Michael Jordan play other than in highlights or stuff, it's going to be hard to not say that LeBron is a GOAT, man. I mean, he's a created player,
It's unfair.
It's unfair. And he's in his he just finished his 17th season, really kind of 18th, because they just finished a calendar year. And you can't, the numbers don't, the numbers, obviously, Jordan got the 6 rings and whatnot, but just what LeBron has been able to do for the game and off the court as well, with his, activist stuff and all that. It's a good debate with the GOAT, man. In my opinion, I got him as a GOAT.
Yeah, no, I think after this, I think a lot of people will, because he's been to multiple teams and won championships, right? With Miami, right? MVP, Cleveland, MVP, championship. Now with the Lakers, I mean, who else can say that they've done that? There was an interesting stat here. Here's the first player to win Finals MVP for and against one franchise, right? We're talking about with the Heat and against the Heat.
Yeah.
I think that's remarkable, and I think that's true greatness, man. When you can go to an organization and elevate everyone else around you, and still be as dominant as you were, where you were before.
I mean, he's obviously a winning. He wins no matter where he goes, and I think the championship he had with Cleveland, it's not like he had great players. He had like a one guy that was a solid, role, but Boobie Gibson and all, where are these guys now, right? So to see what he does he just makes everybody, which is similar to Michael Jordan, right? He elevates anyone around him. As a player, I would have loved to play with LeBron James, because all I had to do was just sit in the corner and make shots.
Yeah.
I would have got me a ring, So I think it shows that, he wants to win. There's so much knock. There are a lot of LeBron haters, obviously. But anyone who knows the game of basketball, you got to understand what this man has done for the game.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. True greatness. Anyway, hey, congratulations to the Lakers, man. And shout out to the Heat. I think they had a great run, a great season. And I think they proved that they're a championship caliber team. And if you look at what Jimmy Butler's done this year, it's remarkable, man. So I think they're going to add one or two more pieces next season, and they're going to be a force to reckon with in 2021.
Yeah.
Well, hey, let's put the NBA finals to bed. I know them guys are excited. LA, congratulations. Let's talk about Julian Sensley.
Yeah,
hey, Kalahel grad, you went away, and you found yourself back here in Hawaii, playing for the University of Hawaii, and then you went overseas to play. Talk about that sort of journey, man.
Man, it was a cool journey. Obviously, I had a couple looks in the NBA, got a couple call-ups to the Rockets and then to the Nuggets, and won a minor league championship with the D League, which was a Houston Rockets affiliate in 2010. So I got a taste, similar to your journey, man. We got that look, but, going over to Europe, I was able to find some stability and, make a good living, and live out that professional basketball dream. Honestly, man, people overseas can hoop. I mean, if you look at the NBA with the Dirk Nowitzkis and the Ginobilis, Tony Parkers, I mean, some of the great Hall of Famers are coming from Europe, so it was a cool experience, man, being a Kailua kid, growing up, in Kailua on the east side of Oahu, being able to see the world, living in places like Spain and Italy and Germany, and going to experience the Olympics with the German national team. My mother is, a lot of people that don't know, my mother is half German, is German from Germany. So it makes me half German. So that's how I got my passport to be able to play for the German national team. But it was a cool experience, man. I got to see things in my 34 years of life that most people don't see in a lifetime, so it was a cool experience. I still got to live out my dream and play basketball for a living.
That's what's up, man. Congratulations on that. I mean, not a lot of people can say that they've done that. So congrats, but I know Hawaii's proud of you, and especially, that east side. Brother. So you touched on one thing, just like myself, I've transitioned. I'm done playing now. And like me, you're getting involved in something right now that's very exciting, man. You're trying to be an actor.
Yeah.
Right. So what's that been like, man? And how exciting are you for that future?
Well, look, man, I always had a love for film. When I was younger, I did theater. I was in like drama classes and stuff like that. And then obviously I grew to be 20 feet tall. So sports kind of took over, and that's how like the guy in drama class wasn't getting the girls, you know what I'm saying? So like, I was like, I'm gonna stick with the sports, but always wanted to get into acting, man. Obviously, we're not living in a big market like New York City or Hollywood. So trying to find out what door to knock on or to find a blueprint and how to get into the industry was kind of difficult at first, but I met some people that were actors and whatnot, and kind of guided me in the right direction, man. And and I love it, man. It's my new passion. The same love I had for basketball and sports growing up. It's the same love I have for entertaining, you know, and storytelling and being a performer and an actor.
That's what's up, man. And I say it all the time. If you take that same drive as an athlete and you apply it to the next thing, whatever it is, you're going to be successful. Just because, you know, you understand what hard work is, you understand how to
100%.
overcome adversity, you know, you understand how to be coached, you know, and then make adjustments. So look, man, that's exciting stuff. I'm on that same path. So, you know, hey, maybe we'll get on set together.
Yeah, we will be, man.
Right now we're on set together, brother.
Yeah, we are, man. We already know what we're doing, man. You know, it's like anything, man. You work hard, and like you said, you know, there's a lot of similarities with acting and sports, man. It's like in sports, you're studying tape. In acting, you're doing the same thing. You're studying the greats, you know, the Marlon Brandos and the Meryl Streeps and what have you. So it's like, you know, it's the same. There's a lot of similarities with acting and sports. And that has actually helped me understand the industry. And I'm still obviously learning a lot. I'm very green and very new in this, but you know, it's what's helped me kind of put me ahead of the curve as maybe other actors, just because of, you know, as an athlete, you learn how to take direction early on from your coaches. It's the same thing, you know? So I'm excited, man. And I can't wait to see the outcome of this.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. Congratulations. And bro, with that, man, look, I appreciate you coming on the CO2 Rundown, bro, and not just being part of the halftime show, but recapping the NBA Finals, talking about that, sharing some of your knowledge, your experience, and giving your input with that. So, brother, man, appreciate you again. And bro, sure, I'm gonna see you at Pipeline.
Yeah, let's do it, bro. Have a good one.
Okay, aloha.
Yeah.
Wow, that was amazing, brother, man. Julian, thanks so much for coming on and for that insight. And guys, if you guys want to follow Julian on his new career, on his acting career, make sure you guys give him a follow on Instagram at julian.sensley. So is LeBron James the GOAT, right? It's LeBron James, Michael Jordan. I want you guys to drop some comments right now in the chat box there, in the comment box. Throw up some LBs for LeBron, MJs for Michael Jordan. You can put some crowns for the king, you know, whatever you want. Emoji it up, text it up. We want to know your thoughts. I got to watch both play, right? Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant even, right? Throw him in there. LeBron James, all these guys are elite. I'm just going to stay out of the GOAT talk. I'm not going to give my opinion. I think they're all amazing players in their eras. That's my opinion, right? Through the eras, they're the greatest of their time. But the greatest of all time, there's still a lot more time to go, so we'll see. But congrats to LeBron James and the Lakers. You know, I think it was a very special year. One that, you know, the tragic loss of Kobe and Gianna and the rest, you know, that were on the helicopter, LA, everyone was impacted by that. And I think they had a little extra Mamba, you know, going on, you know, hence the Mamba staff here I got rocking with me. You know, it was special. Sometimes when you have, you know, a little extra motivation, it gives you an extreme edge. And in sports, that helps out a lot. LeBron James, shout out to you, man. Congratulations, Los Angeles. You guys are king of the NBA world in 2020. Guys, with that, let's dive on in to the third quarter. And on to some local stories here in the third. Be on the lookout this week from our Honolulu Star-Advertiser team. Ferd Lewis is going to have some updates for us this week on the Honolulu Marathon. It appears the race is still going to happen. We're still 60 days out, but it's in the middle of the pandemic, so it's hard to see how they will host this event that usually has 30,000 people. As I mentioned, Ferd should have some updates on it this week, so make sure you guys stay tuned in the Honolulu Star-Advertiser. Also, stay tuned in tomorrow's paper where Steven Tsai will give us an update on how the UH football team is adjusting after a 100-play scrimmage on Saturday. Coach Graham said the depth chart is set, and now the scout team must get ready to help the Warriors prepare for their road opener against Fresno State that will have a stadium that's empty. No fans will be in attendance. So, typically Fresno State is a tough place to play. I mentioned it before. So, no home field advantage there. So we're looking forward to seeing the Warriors go on the road and start out 1-0. Major League Baseball playoffs are down to the final 4, and the first meeting of the 7-game series in the American League was last night. The Rays won a closely contested ballgame 2-1 over the Astros, who had their chances but couldn't come up with a big hit. And as you may know, Houston is still recovering from the cheating scandal that helped them win in 2017 over the Dodgers in that World Series. So if those two teams end up playing each other, you can bet that there's going to be some beanball between those two. But for right now, Tampa Bay looks like the team to beat because that pitching staff is formidable. Into some tennis here. At the men's final of the French Open, Rafael Nadal won his 13th title in Paris on clay and his 20th major championship overall. He ties his rival Roger Federer for the most Grand Slam titles on the men's side of the net. He beat world number 1 Novak Djokovic, also known as the Joker, in straight sets. In Joker's previous 5 Grand Slam finals, he won them all, but not on this slow surface, because this is Nadal's domain, as he won 13 of his 20 titles on clay. Here's some interesting stats. Nadal has won a record 13 French Open titles, 4 US Open titles, 2 Wimbledon titles, and 1 Australian Open title. And he's won at least 1 Grand Slam every year for a record 10 consecutive years from 2005 to 2014. Man, hats off to you. That's just ridiculous. Congratulations, Rafael Nadal. And you guys want to know what else is ridiculous? If you guys caught it over the weekend, that knockout at UFC's Fight Island where Joaquin Buckley had one of the craziest knockouts you will ever see. He caught Impa Kasangane, hope I pronounced that correctly, with a spinning back kick to the face, which just looks like his head got taken to another dimension. If you guys haven't seen the fight, you guys got to YouTube it. You got to check it out, because this might be one of the nastiest knockouts you will ever see in combat sports. But anyway, guys, that wraps up today's segment of the CO2 Rundown. I'd like to give another huge thank you to our sponsors, Mercedes-Benz of Honolulu, Hawaiian Telcom, Windows Hawaii, and Long's Drugs for being part of the show. And I want to give a huge thank you to you, the fans, the people that are tuning in every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And you know what? I can't thank you guys enough, and I look forward to seeing you all on Wednesday.